you would have mentioned forklift itself.
I would have mentioned the actual forklift. I would have mentioned it, ma'am.
Okay.
Look, like I say, it's 20 months ago. I wouldn't be able to quote this thing verbatim even if I read it, but I would have mentioned the forklift. And again, this is why I sit with a case number now.
And you accept that there's no reference to forklift in this one?
None.
There's no reference to PKTT?
I went through this thing last night,
Okay.
scratching my head the whole time.
Okay. Now, insofar as I want to show you what Advocate Ramsamy says she recalls was in that Section 27 affidavit that she saw on the 6th of December, the 6th of December, 5th of December, 2024, when she was preparing the 2813 application. And I've asked for her statement to be sent to you, so it's Statement 1 of Advocate Ramsamy, and it is on page 15.
Oh, there, I thought it was coming up, yeah. Thank you, Mabut. Page 15.
Yes, of her statement, paragraph 36. So she says, I have not seen the Section 27 affidavit after 6 December 2024 after I returned it to Advocate Johnson. What I recall of its contents is based on my memory, but as the Commission will see, there are certain contemporaneous recordals by me that somewhat corroborate my recollection of the contents of the Section 27 affidavit. For convenience, I will deal with the Section 27 affidavit that I was given on 5 December 2024, which she says is the only one that she saw, compared to the Section 27 affidavit that was flighted before the Commission in tabular form. Now, when she talks about the flighted one, it's the one in front of you, 512.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we don't have the one that she says she saw on the 6th of December. But she says the one that we have at page 512 to 516 is not what she saw on 6 December 2024.
Ma'am, Advocate, I'm leaning towards her here because there's things that are not in here. I don't know if someone wanted to minimize something for someone, but there's things that, and as you might have noticed, Commissioners, I don't have the best memory, but let me be adamant about this. There's things that I know I put in there.
I only got to hear today. You've said it repeatedly today that your memory is failing you for the first time today.
So, Commissioner, you must understand what a miserable pensioner I'm going to make one day.
Okay, so let's go to page 16, which has the table. And if you look at the first table, that's the Section 27 affidavit that she saw. And the second column, that is what you have in front of you at 512 to 516. So she says the one that she saw at number 1, it referred to your Orlando case numbers and the Valeria case number. And the one that's now on page 512 to 516 refers to the Cape Town case numbers. And there's no file 2. Yes?
But let me also be somewhat on the fence about this. I'm not going to say that she's wrong or that she's lying, but I don't remember that.
Okay, so just insofar as the case numbers are concerned. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You probably would have put in the case numbers.
Can I ask for permission that if Commissioner Kamalo, see, I want to blame you now, Commissioner
No,
Madlanga,
don't worry. Many others have made the same mistake.
if indeed Commissioner Madlanga releases me today, that I be given an allowance to make a supplementary, because I'm going to go sit and think about all of this. It's going to be very hard for me to just yes, no. It's 20 odd months ago. Will I be allowed that?
Let's see how things go. I can't make a decision about that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You see, if you go to, just briefly, you don't even have to go to it, the docket for the Cape Town, the front cover, the case number is 1653. And in your document, it's missing the 1, so it's 653 instead of on page 512, that's section 27. So I would imagine that you would have gotten your case numbers right, but I also would imagine because you were under the impression that your Cape Town case dockets had been intercepted, you would rather refer to the most recent cases that you had lodged, which would be the Orlando and Valeria.
I accept that I missed the 1 in the front, but the Cape Town case numbers to me were more pressing because in my head, those had disappeared. So if you understand what I'm saying, Advocate, for me, that was the more pressing issue.
Okay. So then, can we go back to her table, and we'll see how far we can get. She says at item 2 that Major General Madondo failing a polygraph test while seeking security clearance was specifically mentioned, whereas in the one that's displayed here, 512 to 516, although vetting is mentioned, it is in a different context and no mention is made of a polygraph test. Now, do you recall if you would have said that Major General Madondo failed the polygraph test in your section 27?
I know that I verbally said that to the investigator on the day we met at the hotel. I'm going to struggle now because I know I mentioned vetting in here.
But you don't recall the polygraph?
I must be honest. I want to say yes, but I must be honest, I can't recall.
Okay, and then 3, she says allegations of procurement irregularity within crime intelligence regarding the procurement of a forklift. And she was adamant that the word forklift was in that affidavit.
Yes.
Are you also
I'm leaning
adamant?
towards her.
Okay.
I don't want to say I'm leaning towards her, but I'm leaning towards her.
So you say you pretty certain that you would have said forklift?
Ma'am, I would bet the last cent in my pocket that I said forklift. I said forklift.
And also because those were the documents that you had. The forklift
Yes.
was
Yes.
documents that you were given to
ma'am.
you. Okay. And then at number 4, she says multiple allegations of alleged criminal conduct by the political killings task team, such as the procurement of vehicles, excessive budget for laundry using the Secret Service account. Do you recall that?
Ma'am, this is even clearer to me than Easter. Because even at Parliament, and you can go check the recordings, I was gunning them about the R500,000 a year laundry bill for the PKTT, that they're spending 10,000 Rand a night per officer at 5-star hotels. I was at war with the portfolio over that. It would have been in my section 27. I mean, if nothing else, Commissioners, that if I'd given you a one-pager, that would have been in there.
Okay. And then 5, vehicles that were procured for the PKTT being used by the former Minister of Police, Mr. Cele, for his personal use.
That I know I spoke about. I don't want to lie, sit here and tell you I did it. I know I mentioned it. I did not have evidence at the time. So please allow me to be a little bit ambivalent about that one.
Okay. Then the last one, number 6, purchasing of hotels or lodges and or properties using the Secret Service account.
Can I just take a minute, just a second? Advocate, will you allow me to leave a question mark there?
Okay.
Thank you.
So in actual fact, you can't assist us as to whether this 512 to 516, you say you're certain that you mentioned forklift and PKTT and these allegations, but you don't know what this document is in, because there's some of it that was contained in what you recall handing over to Mr. Perumal, but some things that should be in there, allegations that you recall were in there, are not in there.
Advocate, if I can tell you honestly, I'm probably the most confused person in this room right now, because this is making me question my own sanity right now, but I know I put those things in there.
Okay. And what compounds it is that you confirm the signatures on the pages?
Yes, I can't speak for Councillor Solomon's. I can't speak for, but these appear to be my signatures.
Okay.
So,
Can I just check, Mr. Adams? You say you don't recall. What could you have been saying about the PKTT in your affidavit? That must be clear. You must be clear about that.
I can tell you what I said about the PKTT.
Yes.
And I'm not going to mention the officer's name because I believe cases are being withdrawn today. But there was one gentleman who was a driver, who was promoted from a driver, which I believe to be a sergeant, to a lieutenant colonel. He skipped various ranks. And that, I know I mentioned that. I asked to look into that. I asked.
You see, you yesterday you said that among other people that you discussed with is Professor Ms. Dihas and Ms. Mashale. There had been discussions about the stuff that eventually forms part of your complaints. And I think it's a valid question. If you say you're not sure about what you said in that affidavit, or whether what Ms. Ramsamy has summarized, whether that is what you said, you surely must be able to say, here's my complaint that I had at the time about the PKTT. That I would expect you to remember. The same with the buildings, where she says your complaint include the Secret Service fund being used to get buildings. I would expect you to remember clearly and say, I could never have said that, because the first time I heard about it was long after I had filed my affidavit. So I'm struggling with that you don't remember things as specific as that. And to remember, I'm not saying to you, you did put it in the affidavit. I'm even allowing for you saying, I could never have said that. I could not have spoken about the laundry expenditure in their budget, because it's not material that was within my knowledge in November.
So,
Yes, you may.
oh, I thought.
I've raised two things with you. The one is the buildings, the properties being bought, and the other is about the PKTT expenditure. And if you have already dealt with the PKTT laundry expenditure, I'm happy to leave it, and you've given an answer. But the purchase of the buildings, you must remember whether you knew or didn't know, or had a gripe about it by November 2024.
Commissioner, the reason I'm not saying that I did is because I want to be sure. If I tell you that it's in there, like, for example, the forklift, it's supposed to be in there. But with the buildings, I know I had a hell of a fight about the buildings, but I'm not sure if I... And let me tell you, Commissioner, I'm again leaning towards Ms. Ramsamy, but I can't nail it and say yes. But I am strongly leaning towards what she's saying here.
Thank you.
I want to raise a few issues with you, Mr. Adams. I don't remember if I greeted you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Looking at this affidavit on 512, you say the one that you provided to IDEC made mention of the PKTT and the forklift, right? And we can see that this one does not. Please don't nod. Please answer so that...
I'm acknowledging as you speak,
yes,
sir.
that's
for myself.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you're still talking.
No,
Sorry,
that is fine. So this affidavit we're looking at then cannot be the one that you gave to IDEC on the 21st of November 2024, because according to you, the one that you gave to IDEC had in it PKTT and it had a reference to the forklift. Now, the follow-up question is, where does this one come from? The one that we're looking at, if it is not the one that you gave to IDEC in November 2024, where does this one come from?
I think Andrea Johnson is best placed to answer that, sir.
But it has your signature.
That is what, it's making me feel like I'm insane.
Yes.
If indeed I was part of whatever's going on here, I would sit here and own this is my affidavit. Yes, no, I did not mention PKTT. No, I did not mention the forklift. But this thing, this is not everything I put in there.
Did you do 2 Section 27 affidavits?
I did not sign the one because I wasn't happy with it, because I put in words like heister instead of forklift. This is not what, Chairperson, I hope you understand why I went to Wellington Police. Because I was in Wellington on the day this madness was happening, when I saw these things and I said, no man, none of this, I'm going to lay a charge.
Now, in October last year, this is important. In October last year, the people at IDEC, according to the emails that we have seen, were looking for a Section 27 affidavit, and they could not find it. But when this commission sought documents from IDEC, this is the document that was given to the commission. And it raises serious questions about IDEC and you, Mr. Adams. And the question in relation to you is this: did you, after October 2025, sign a Section 27 affidavit and backdate it?
No, Chairperson, and you will understand why later. You will understand why later.
Yeah. Now, can you come up with a sensible explanation why we have before us an affidavit that you say is not the affidavit you signed in November 2024?
Chairperson, someone has altered this thing. I don't know why. I don't know how. Someone has taken out information that I wanted in here. Information that I'm passionate about. Information that landed me in Pietermaritzburg prison. I can't answer that, Chairperson.
How do you explain your signature? I can understand if somebody forged a document, as you allege, or they did something sinister. Advocate Ngube took you through every page and asked you if those are your initials, and you confirmed that those are your initials. Now, if this is not the document that you signed on the 21st of November, 2024, where do those initials and the signature on the last page come from?
Commissioner Kumalo, I humbly submit to this commission that the IDAC must come and explain this.
No, they cannot explain your signature. All I want is you to explain your signature. They can explain other things. They can explain why what you say was in the affidavit is not there. But for now, I want you to focus on the signature, which you say is yours. Unless you say to us that is also a forgery.
I am leaning that way, and I think it is.
Shutting this 5-page document and signing the last page.
Not the one before me, Advocate.
Not the one before
Not the
us.
one before me. Not the one before me. There's been alterations made to this document. This is not the one that I submitted.
So you say somebody you don't know who altered this document?
Chairperson, that is clear from where I stand. Unless I've gone mad, unless I'm misreading the thing that I typed. But I'm not mad. I know it was in there. These are two things that, as I say, I'm passionate about. I've been fighting it, and it's not there, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I don't know why they would want to take it out.
Do the charges that you say you've laid against IDEC relate to this affidavit as well?
Chairperson, at the time when I see it, I don't think that I've gone through this affidavit. My charges relate to the way they handle my case.
Oh,
but when I speak to the investigating officer, this will certainly be one of the things that I raise.
All right. Thank you.
Then can I take you to what Mr. Raphesu said he recalls was in the section 27, and that is on page 7 of his statement. We've also asked for those files to be given to you.
Oh,
so
okay.
we can
Thank you.
Page 7. Do you have it, Mr.
I
Adams?
have it, ma'am.
Okay. So you'll see paragraph 21, the section 27 referral ISO, and the section 27 that served before the commission. He says, I record at the outset that I browsed the section 27 referral quickly and did not read it in full. I did not reach the last page and I did not see who the deponent was or how it had been commissioned. What follows is my best recollection. The section 27 referral I saw dealt substantially with the political killings task team, which I refer to as the PKTT. As best I recall, it referred to the PKTT being accommodated at a lavish hotel and to the cost of their laundry, to lavish motor vehicles said to have been purchased from a slush fund and used by the former Minister of Police, Becky Cele, and to properties and hotels in various provinces, including KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. I recall a reference in Gauteng to the Midrand or Kyalami area. Do you recall any of that before I continue?
The only thing here that I would actually, let me just make sure, sorry, ma'am. The only thing here that I would actually contest is the issue of Minister Tele, because I did not have evidence of that. And the hotels, of course, which I'm,
You're not sure.
he's essentially, he's the man is not, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Okay, then he says, it also dealt with political killings. In that regard, I recognize the name of a person, one Sergeant Dumisani Dlamini, whom I knew as he had been a witness of mine during my earlier service in KwaZulu-Natal, and I recall mentioning at the briefing that I knew him. Do you recall that?
I don't think that was in my submission, ma'am, but I know that he and I spoke at length about Sergeant Lamini, who was locked up, and he actually agreed with me that that man doesn't deserve prison. That's another one of those things that I'm busy with, but I don't think I would have put it in my affidavit. I don't think so.
Okay.
We spoke
can't
about
say.
it at length. I mean, I'm sure you heard the recording where his name comes up, and you'd obviously have heard that I'm invested in that, but I don't think I put that in there.
Okay, you don't think that you had it
I
in
think
the...
maybe Mr. Raphesu is also remembering the conversation and thinking that. I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think I put that in there.
Because he says he remembers mentioning it at the briefing, and the briefing that he's referring to is the briefing that the team had on the 6th of December 2024, so before he met you.
Their
Yes,
briefing. Okay.
their briefing, their internal briefing where they were discussing your referral. Because remember, your referral comes through, the team gets assembled, the section 2813 is approved, and then Advocate Johnson calls a team meeting. So that's the first meeting of the investigating team and prosecutorial team. So he's referring to that briefing.
Can I answer you like this? He's the last one between the two of us to have seen the affidavit, if I may answer you like that. So I'm not going to argue with him from a point of certainty, but I wouldn't understand why I put that in there, because that was a totally separate fight. It was a totally separate fight.
But it was something that you were passionate about, and it had to do with the PKTT.
Yes. Actually, now that you put it like that, I might have mentioned him, but can I?
It's fine. I'm not going to press you for an
No,
answer.
it's just, I don't want to disagree with him, and because he might actually be right, but I don't want to disagree with him.
Yeah, I think I'm basing it off what you say is that it is something that you were passionate about. You discuss it at length at the meeting of 6 January 2025, insofar as the PKTT is concerned. And he then says it was in it, and he remembers discussing it at the briefing session and telling the team that he knows Dlamini from his work in KZN.
Yes,
Okay.
he told me that, that Sergeant Lamini was a witness, that he believed the man to be innocent, and that was basically that kind of conversation.
Unless the commissioners want to ask anything else regarding the section 27?
Mr. Adams, during the tea break, can you please call your office, ask them to find the affidavit, the one that you signed and had commissioned, not this one which you disclaim. Can you please get them to send that document? from your desktop or from your computer?
My desktop is at my house, Commissioner, not at my office. That's where I work from at night because I'm on the road all day. I can, my wife gets home at 3. Look, I'm gonna try my level best to get it for you because this thing is irritating me like you won't believe.
Why we wanted that to happen today is because your testimony is going to be finalized today.
Commissioner?
So we wanted to engage with that document whilst you are in the witness stand.
Yes, Commissioner, I understand that. And if I have the document, I'm even willing to come back because I'm more than willing to avail myself if you have another date for me. I understand you're also working under time constraints.
Yeah, please try. Let's see if you.
Let's see what you
manage to
can
get
do
it.
during the tea adjournment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Before you move on.
So I'm still going to be here after tea time.
It depends on you.
Mr. Adams, you are certain that you submitted only one affidavit to IDEC, one Section 27.
I handed that document to Chief Investigator Perumal. We never spoke about the Section 27. Again, I'm confused, Commissioner.
And you say this was in Cape Town when
Yes,
you handed it to him. So Ms. Johnson would have been incorrect when she said, because this is what she testified, when she said you delivered your affidavit, your Section 27 affidavit, to their Pretoria office at reception.
No, she's lying.
Okay,
I'm telling you categorically that she's lying.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. But you were in Johannesburg or in Gauteng in November, correct? You went.
I'm in Gauteng every month. I don't know if that helps you, but I'm in Gauteng a lot.
No, I'm being specific here because you said that you met with the IGI
Yes,
in November.
Yes, ma'am.
And when would that have been?
That I can confirm. I can't lie to you about the date, but I was at his office.
Okay. I just want you to see whether it would have been after 21 November, because your affidavit is dated 21 November, or whether it was before, because in your affidavit you say in that same week you met with the IGI, so that would have been, I think it was the first week in November.
Sorry, you mean the statement?
In your statement, yes, in your statement that you submitted to the commission, you said that you met with the office of the IGI in November.
What I can do is I can tell you that the IGI's logbook will tell you exactly what time and date I was there, but it was the same week. It was the
Okay.
same week.
And then, so you say you didn't drop off any affidavit at all at IDEX offices?
No, ma'am.
Had you ever been to IDEX offices?
I was asked to sign a, what do they call the thing? The introduction to something.
The preamble?
I was asked to sign a preamble, and what day I can't tell you, but it was maybe a few weeks later. And I told them I'm in Pretoria on this day. I can do that for you then. And as a matter of fact, the camera footage will tell you that on that day I didn't even get out the car because I was running late. And so I called Chief Investigator Perumal. He met me at the door. I read through it, I signed it, and I drove off.
Okay.
What's the preamble to what?
To my statements, my A1s.
After your January meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's what I was going to ask, but that would have been in 2025.
Yes, probably. I would, there I couldn't help you, but that was the only time I ever went near their office. I've never been inside.
Well, we're trying to figure out when it would have been. It would have been after your meeting with them in Cape Town on the 6th of January.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
The reference on page 32 of your statement, if you can perhaps just go there.
My own
Maybe
statement?
before
Okay.
if you're moving off completely.
My own statement, ma'am?
Commissioner Baloy has a question.
Yes. Can we then safely is it safe to assume that this affidavit at 512, the one that you have difficulty with,